Fox 5 Atlanta. Dedicated, determined, dependable. First at 10. Fox 5 News starts now.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Raya.
And I'm Corey Thompson. Both Russ and Amanda have the night off. First on Fox 5 News tonight, Iowa voters gather in caucuses tonight to pick their Democratic nominee for president. It's a make or break time for some candidates, and it appears it's a big night for Senator John Kerry. Fox 5's Tony Thomas joins us live with the latest numbers. Tony.
Corey, John Kerry has seized the lead and has been projected the winner by several news organizations. Fox News projecting at this hour John Kerry is the winner in Iowa with 38% of the votes. John Edwards second with 32%. Howard Dean finishing apparently a disappointing 18% in third place. Dick Gephardt is lagging way behind tonight with 11%. But once in the caucus, participants can change their minds, and the meetings right now are still going on.
Why don't you caucus right there?
All over Iowa, would-be Democratic voters are huddling, choosing their candidates. The caucus participants are literally divided into groups for each candidate. But if the group isn't big enough, the members can choose a second candidate to back.
My wife's secret ingredient. It's a hot toddy without the toddy.
A sore throat sidelined frontrunner John Kerry most of the day, so Democrats, including former Georgia Senator Max Cleland, stepped in.
I ask you to, at 6:30 tonight, caucus for John Kerry.
Senator John Edwards is also hoping to pull out a victory here. Earlier, his camp reached an agreement with the Dennis Kucinich camp for supporters to swap if one is in contention and the other's not.
If, depending on what's happening in the caucuses, there may be occasions where some of his folks can support me and vice versa.
It's Dean! Dean! Dean, baby, Dean!
Fresh off his quick visit to Georgia over the weekend, Howard Dean rallied until the very end.
A lot of people behind us, and that's how we're going to get it done. And we're going to get it done in Iowa tonight, 6:30. I think we're going to win.
Perhaps the candidate with the most to lose is Richard Gephardt. The former frontrunner has slipped to fourth.
When it gets cold, the Gephardt team gets hot. We're going to win!
But if he doesn't, Emory political science professor Alan Abramowitz says Gephardt is likely one of several candidates who will likely soon drop out.
We'll probably see the field of Democratic candidates narrowed down from the current 7 down to possibly 3 or 4.
And we are now hearing from Iowa. Richard Gephardt's campaign says he is pulling out of the New Hampshire and South Carolina primaries and considering tonight pulling entirely out of the campaign. We'll keep you updated, Lisa.
All right, an interesting finish there. Thanks, Tony. We are continuing to monitor the caucuses in Iowa. Depend on Fox 5 for complete coverage. We'll bring you live reports from Iowa and updates as the results continue to come in throughout this newscast. Georgia and the nation celebrated the life and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. Music filled Ebenezer Baptist Church as hundreds gathered to remember the man known as the drum major for justice. Political leaders delivered rousing speeches that spoke of King's greatness and the need to continue his work. And high school bands strutted their stuff as towns all across Georgia held parades to celebrate the King holiday. Corey Thompson has more now on how Atlanta paid tribute to Dr. King.
Well, Lisa, nearly a week full of activities from coast to coast honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. culminated in a commemorative service today in Atlanta. Ebenezer Baptist Church played backdrop to a service honoring a man that once stood in its pulpit. On what would have been Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s 75th birthday, a nation pauses to remember the man, the dream, and his legacy. Crowded into the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church was a snapshot of the dream King helped create. Faces of various nationalities lifted their voices in song. Powerful politicians stood side by side with the common man to remember. His widow recalling the motivation behind Dr. King.
Martin Luther King Jr. was called to serve God and humanity. And this was the spiritual purpose that drove his life.
In the audience, leaders of state and law enforcement. While political views may divide this crowd, they have all found a common denominator in the words of a man they all admire.
The special power of Reverend Dr. King's words came from the faith that was behind them. Faith is the greatest power that we know. Christ tells us that faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. And Dr. King demonstrated that truth in his own life.
Atlanta was the cradle of the civil rights movement, a city where Dr. King came to find strength, refuge, and encouragement. Today, the woman who leads that city honored the man and echoed his calling.
His life is a testament to the biblical challenge to those to whom much is given, much is required. Today, we, you and I, must find strength and courage in the remembrance and celebration of Dr. King's life to face the truth, no matter how unpleasant, to be heard no matter how inconvenient, to never give up no matter how long or hard the struggle, to stand on principle no matter how uncomfortable.
36 years after Dr. King died, the dream lives in the message, the minds, and hearts of those who live Dr. King's dream of racial equality and bask in the glow of a world he helped shape.
The man that we pay tribute to today and celebrate has impacted and affected all of us, and even those who are not gathered here today, in different ways, from South Africa to South Carolina, from Tokyo to Texas, from Europe to Erie, Pennsylvania, from Georgia in the Soviet Union to Georgia right here in the South, from Canada to Cambodia, from China to Chicago. Martin Luther King Jr. has made a significant difference in our world.
There was a changing of the guard, so to speak, at the King Center today. Martin Luther King III took over operations as president and chief executive officer. He takes over operations from his younger brother, Dexter. Lisa?
After the service at Ebenezer Baptist Church, the King Holiday celebration moved to the streets of downtown Atlanta. Thousands took part in a march honoring Dr. King's legacy. It ended with a rally on Auburn Avenue. Stone Mountain also celebrated the King holiday in grand style. Marching bands performed as hundreds lined the streets to watch.
In other news this evening, nearly 150 people arrived safely today at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport after their flight was diverted because of a bomb threat.
The flight was due to arrive at Atlanta's airport yesterday afternoon from Frankfurt, Germany, but it had to make an emergency landing in Shannon, Ireland, after a threatening note was found on board. Fox 5's Kelly Wolf is live at the airport. The very latest for us. Kelly?
Well, Lisa, the 147 passengers who were supposed to arrive here yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon finally made it here without incident just before 6 o'clock this evening. And family members who were anxiously awaiting their return were happy to see them safe after a very scary ordeal. Tanya McClure's family embraces her as she finally makes it home after her flight from Germany was diverted yesterday when a threatening note was found in the plane bathroom.
It was a little scary when they said that there was a bomb threat.
Passengers on Flight 27 were first told that they were making an emergency landing because of medical reasons. When they landed in Shannon, Ireland, they were escorted off the plane and then told about the threat.
You say they were good to you. Obviously, they questioned you and other passengers.
Yes, we were fingerprinted. We had to give a writing analysis.
They asked us to do a handwriting sample, and the handwriting sample was bomb aboard with a date.
Passengers were then put up in a hotel for the night.
Next morning, they had a suspect, and they asked my wife and I to come down because we were right next to the bathrooms to see if we could identify if we had seen that person go into the latrine.
Jason Roberts says he remembers seeing a man police described to him. Today, Irish authorities made an arrest, and travelers and family are relieved to put this frightening experience behind them.
The whole thing was quite an ordeal. It's good to be back.
My husband travels a lot internationally, so this scared me. And like I said, I'm just very happy that he's got his 2 feet on the ground here in Atlanta.
Everybody here safe and sound. Now, that plane was thoroughly searched and nothing was found. While authorities have made an arrest, no charges have been filed. Live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, Kelly Wolf, Fox 5 News.
Kelly, thanks. An Atlanta detective calls the murder of a little girl the worst case he has ever seen. The 6-year-old victim's body was found in a hotel room early this morning. Police say the child may have died during some type of ritual. Fox 5's Tana Bracken is live at the Fulton County Jail with the latest. Tana?
Detectives say that little girl, Kimani Carey, died a horrible death. One officer told me he couldn't begin to describe the girl's injuries. The couple, who say they're her parents, are now under arrest. Christopher Carey is in jail tonight charged with murder. His wife, Valerie Carey, under arrest in Grady's psychiatric ward. Police received several 911 calls about the Careys early this morning. Sometime after midnight, Atlanta police were called to Midtown. Someone had seen two fully undressed adults walking down Piedmont, carrying two naked children on their shoulders. The family said they were living here in room 202 of the Savannah Suites Hotel. Inside, police found the body of a child.
Nothing ritualistic, just very disturbing.
Another detective described it as the worst murder he's ever seen. The girl, either 6 or 7, had been brutalized, her back broken, several bones broken, and she was strangled. The family had lived here since summer. Neighbors said they seemed normal.
They were just a beautiful looking couple. You know, to see them or to hear about that is kind of strange, very strange.
I thought it was terrible. As a matter of fact, I called my baby's grandmother and I was crying because that's a child.
A minister says the couple turned to St. Mark United Methodist Church for help to pay rent and buy Christmas presents.
Very well-mannered, husband and wife, both very appreciative and kind and caring people.
The other 2 children, a 7-year-old girl and 2-year-old boy, were unharmed. They're in defects custody now. Christopher Carey is scheduled for arraignment here at the jail tomorrow. His wife, Valerie, there's no word yet on how long she'll remain in the hospital. Live at the Fulton County Jail, Tana Bracken, Fox 5 News.
All right, Tana, thanks. There is much more ahead on Fox 5 News at 10. A star high school athlete is sentenced to 10 years in prison. As his case nears an appeal, his family finds support from unexpected places.
Also ahead, a community is put on alert after a woman is attacked and sexually assaulted outside her home.
Some surprising revelations and questions coming from the Michael Jackson camp.
And patrons of a zoo go bananas when a chimp gets loose. Ken?
Corey, a very large area of very cold air now is moving into the south, spreading all across Georgia and into Florida. What's in store for the rest of the week? I'll have your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
If you see news happening, call the Fox 5 newsroom. Just dial #5 on your singular wireless cell phone. The call is free. The holiday is over. It's back to business tomorrow. Depend on Fox 5 for your morning news plus weather and traffic on the 5s. Tomorrow on Fox 5 Morning News at 5.
What were we thinking about when we gave the Kia Sedona a more powerful standard engine? What were we thinking about when we gave it such a great warranty and priced it thousands less than our competitors? What were we thinking about when we designed it to get the government's highest safety rating? What were we thinking? We were thinking about Scotty, Nanny, Poppy, Uncle Larry, Derek, Eric, Dad, and Mr. Mophead. The always family-friendly Kia Sedona.
Visit your Greater Metro Atlanta Kia retailers. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Growing up, kids used to make fun of me, and when it hurt, I cried. Adults can be just as cruel. But one day, I stopped crying, and I called Jenny Craig. They showed me a way to a whole new life. It was in me all along.
New year, new you. Lose all the weight you want in 2004 for just $49 plus the cost of food. Call 1-800-JENNY20 today. Jenny Craig, it works.
Last year, when I lost 140 pounds, I hit my goal. And you know what? I cried.
Go West!
Steakhouse, baby.
As good as it gets.
It's all about the fun and that legendary flavor.
Yeah, the Longhorn West tastes best.
One of your favorites is back. Longhorn's big, thick-cut, bone-in outlaw ribeye. Seasoned to perfection and grilled over an open flame for mighty big flavor.
Can you say Longhorn? Steakhouse, baby.
Fox tomorrow. American Idol continues in Atlanta, where the judges discover some of the worst auditions ever.
All by myself.
If you were to win this competition, you'd close down the Fox network.
American Idol.
Tuesday at 8 on Fox 5.
Turning to our weather, it's a chilly night. Just how much colder will it get, though?
Ken Caucus in the Forecast Center with the answer. Ken?
Corey, Lisa, the temperature is already down in the 20s in many areas around Atlanta. It's only going to get colder by morning. This is what we've seen happen with our clouds over the last 24 hours. Yesterday, remember, we still had clouds. Temperatures started to fall into the evening. The winds came in at night. Most of those clouds are now gone, except some still in the Ohio Valley and parts of West Virginia and most of Pennsylvania, where there might be a little bit of snow flurry activity, but the air is very, very dry, and I doubt if much of that is actually getting to the ground. Right now, temperatures 25 up at Chattanooga to 28 in Atlanta and 36 at Macon and already down to 39 at Savannah. And as we look at temperatures right around metro Atlanta, then we find that we're generally in the 25 to 28 degree range all the way from Dalton to Atlanta to Noonan, Marietta, Rome, Gainesville, and only Athens is still in the 30s, but already at 31. And we will probably drop 7, 8, or 9 degrees more by tomorrow morning. So high pressure, even with clear skies, it was a very cool day. Now that the sun is gone, temperatures falling very rapidly, a little rain starting to develop to our west. So how long does it last? When does the rain possibly move in? I'll have the rest of your 5-day forecast coming up in a few minutes. Corey.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Well, we're continuing to follow the Iowa caucuses. Most of the votes are in right now, and John Kerry sees the lead early on, but it isn't over until it's over.
This is anticipated to be the closest caucus race since 1988. Joining us live from Des Moines tonight is Fox reporter Dan Springer. Dan, thanks so much for joining us. Right now, the results are showing Kerry 38%, Edwards 32%, Dean 18%, and Gephardt 11%. So it appears right now the real story is the third place finish by Dean.
Yeah, and what's stunning about it is that it's really not as close as was projected. Howard Dean, of course, was the front runner here for several months as he got a machine going and getting all the endorsements from the party bigwigs, but he slipped badly in the last couple of weeks, and he's now standing at 18% with 88% of the precincts reporting. He certainly has to regroup heading into New Hampshire, where he also has the lead there, but it's been slipping like it has been here for the last couple of weeks.
Dan, also, it's got to be a very disappointing night for Dick Gephardt, who only garnered 11% of the votes, and we understand that he is supposed to be speaking within the next few minutes. It's about 9:20 Central Time there. What are we expecting to hear from him?
Well, we're going to hear a very dejected Dick Gephardt. He's probably going to thank his supporters, and Fox News is reporting that he will drop out of the race. Not a big surprise. You can't finish fourth here and go on to get the nomination. It just has never been done, and certainly Dick Gephardt, who won here in 1988 and actually held the lead here before Howard Dean caught fire in the summer, expectations were much higher for Dick Gephardt, and he certainly cannot survive this.
And that's true. But what about Edwards finishing second? Do you think he could survive a loss tonight in the long run?
Well, his loss is really going to be played as a victory by himself and his supporters, because he is a second-place finish is not bad here, and certainly a couple of weeks ago nobody would have given him a chance. He was sitting in single digits as little as a couple of weeks ago, so this is a big boost for him. It shows that he's viable outside of the South. He will go to New Hampshire. He'll try to do as well as he can there, and then look out for Edwards when we get into the southern states a little bit after New Hampshire.
Dan, going into the Iowa caucuses, it was projected as a statistical dead heat, but now the playing field has changed dramatically. What does this mean going into New Hampshire for the three top candidates now?
Well, this is obviously very good news for John Kerry. He gets to go back to the Northeast, where he is known better by voters. He can take on Wesley Clark there. Wesley Clark has been campaigning there for weeks. He's bypassed Iowa, so it really comes down to Kerry and to Dean, if he can regroup in the Northeast, and you also have Lieberman, who's waiting there as well. And now Edwards is viable, so you have a very tight race in New Hampshire, but I think we're going to see this thing going on for quite some time. It will not be a quickly wrapped up nomination.
All right, Dan Springer from Des Moines, thank you so much for your insight tonight. And again, we're following this story closely for you throughout the hour. The Iowa caucuses are the first step in the presidential nomination process, as you know. Now, here's how they work. A caucus is a political meeting at the precinct level. Citizens taking part in a caucus publicly discuss their preference for a presidential nominee. Caucuses are used to determine who will be a political party's delegates to the national convention and which presidential candidates will get their votes.
The Iowa caucuses come on the eve of President Bush's State of the Union address. Among the initiatives they'll unveil tomorrow night is a plan to help American workers train for jobs in the 21st century economy. You can see the president's address right here on Fox 5. We will bring you live coverage of the speech starting at 9, followed by the Democratic response.
Up next on Fox 5 News at 10, some civil rights leaders are set to rally for a high school football star accused of child molestation. The case goes before the Supreme Court.
Also, we've seen this before. The stage is set for another 10 Commandments battle in the southern states.
Fox 5 News is brought to you in part by Zaxby's.
Now, we all know Zaxby's isn't open for breakfast, but what's with all these cars? Let's check this out. Good morning. Hey, what are you doing here so early?
Just getting stuff ready for lunch.
Oh, so no pre-cut industrial-sized bag-o veggies?
No, we slice them fresh every day.
Oh, hey, nice technique with that chicken there.
It's a gift.
Okay, so this becomes, this. Sweet. Very nice. I'd call that a fresh approach to chicken. Zaxby's. May I present lunch?
You'll get the versatility of an SUV, but the feel of a luxury sedan. The Toyota Highlander, a noticeably smooth ride. Check out the sophisticated Highlander at your Toyota dealer, now with $500 cash back on all 04 four-cylinder models.
Fox 5 News. When their dream jobs vanished.
They called the I-team, and we went to work.
Determined to give you every angle.
He was greeted by hundreds of angry protesters.
Bringing you the story as it unfolds.
A powerful tribute to a popular coach and his son.
Fox 5 News.
Which came first, the chicken or the buffalo? Who cares? At Long John Silver's, the buffalo flavor is inside the chicken. Introducing the new crunchy buffalo chicken planks. Our one-of-a-kind batter-dipped chicken with buffalo flavor on the inside. Spice it up with fiery dipping sauce or cool it down with ranch. Get a combo with 3 big pieces of crunchy buffalo chicken, fries, hush puppies, and a drink for $3.99. The crunchy chicken you love, buffalo style. Long John Silver's, seafood and chicken the way it ought to be.
Rock! Yeah, we're gonna take the rock! All right, the rock.
Whew. The rock.
Yeah, the rock. What do you say we go warm up on that rock over there? Yeah, the rock.
It'll get you there. The rest is up to you. The largest, most powerful forerunner yet.
This is my oxygen. Watch it. The Oxygen movie. Free on cable and DirecTV.
Now we know.
Watch it.
Now you know.
Now we know.
Watch it.
A controversial case comes to the Georgia Supreme Court this week. Former high school football star Marcus Dixon is charged with child molestation.
He was 18 and in high school when he had sex with a 15-year-old girl. As Fox 5's Doug Evans reports, some civil rights activists in Atlanta say Marcus Dixon is the victim in the case.
And that comes from the legislator who helped pass the law that a Floyd County prosecutor used to convict Marcus Dixon. That lawmaker is saying racism is behind the conviction. A child molestation charge for sex between teenagers. Dixon got 10 years in prison. His supporters hope the Supreme Court will fix that this week.
You're not alone in your
Ken and Perry Jones in Rome tonight, sifting through thousands of letters of support they say they've received nationwide. Tomorrow, Dr. Joseph Lowry and black legislators will rally at the state Supreme Court for a case State Representative Tyrone Brooks and Dr. Joseph Lowry call a modern-day lynching.
The first time he ever said Marcus's name, I cried because I thought he's going to be okay. Because Because people are going to know through Dr. Joseph Lowry that things were done wrong.
I think the message from the prosecutors is, you know, we don't tolerate young black men dating young white girls.
Marcus Dixon was charged with multiple sex crimes in February 2003, including rape and child molestation. He was 18 and accused of having sex with a 15-year-old girl. It happened after high school in a classroom. The jury acquitted Dixon on every charge except child molestation. Testimony was she was a virgin and under 16. Under Georgia law, that can be considered child molestation regardless of the age of the accused. But Tyrone Brooks says he was the state representative who helped write and pass that law, and he didn't mean for it to apply to teenagers having consensual sex.
The misuse of the law and the overcharging of Marcus Dixon in Rome in the Floyd County Circuit, this has really been an unfortunate aspect of the law. Marcus Dixon is not a predator.
Representative Brooks says the legislature will look to fine-tune that law this session. He says when it came up, he was one of the original supporters who signed the bill. Dixon had a scholarship to Vanderbilt and a 3.9 grade point average. The jury said it believed the sex was consensual. This Wednesday, the Supreme Court in Georgia will hear the case to decide if it was child molestation.
I just hope that each of the justices look at this and think, what if this were my 18-year-old son?
Now, the other side is expected to argue to the high court that their belief is that Dixon was a sexual predator who used his celebrity, bulk, and strength as a star football player to harass girls. Arguments are set for Wednesday morning. Corey?
Doug, thanks. Still ahead on Fox 5 News at 10, more than 100 people are arrested when police break up an alleged dogfighting ring. Tonight, we have new information.
Also, monkey business at a California zoo when a good chimp goes wild.
And later, the good, the bad, and the downright horrible as the new season of American Idol premieres. Ken?
Rain moves across Florida as much colder air moves into Georgia and Alabama. How long will it stay with us? I'll have your forecast coming up after this.
Live from Hollywood, it's On Air with Ryan Seacrest.
A show called American Idol. Randy Jackson tells us how he lost 100 pounds. Then this brave guy's gone through puberty in the public eye. Malcolm in the Middle's Frankie Muniz, all On Air.
And later this week, a rare live performance from Sheryl Crow. On Air with Ryan Seacrest.
Tomorrow at 3 on Fox 5 Atlanta. Fox 5 News is brought to you by Ingalls Advantage, savings and rewards.
Mom says saving money makes you one smart cookie.
That's why using your Ingalls Advantage card is a no-brainer. Every week you'll find fantastic values and super low prices throughout the store. So check the flyer for this week's savings.
What's a dumb cookie? Dad says when he brings home the bacon, we need to hold on to it.
And you can with your Ingalls Advantage card. Save every week with fantastic values and super low prices.
My bacon's right here.
Ingalls, get the advantage.
The trail-rated Jeep Liberty with an available 210 horsepower engine. Because out here, 0 to 20 can be more important than 0 to 60. Announcing Zero Plus. Right now, get 0% financing plus a $2,000 cash allowance. Plus, get our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's 0% financing plus a $2,000 cash allowance, but it's only at your Jeep dealer.
In 1980, America needed hope. It got a hockey team.
This is something that this country is ready for.
Probably not. Now, 20 rivals.
Who do you play for? Boston University, Wisconsin.
Have 6 months to become a team.
Where are you from? I'm from wherever's not going to get me hit.
On February 6th, 20 kids will begin the journey of their lives.
Who do you play for? The United States of America.
And take a nation with them.
This is your time.
Miracle.
Believe it not.
Man who faces any danger, rolling the prices back for friend and stranger. He's the rollback man. He's the rollback man. He's changing all those numbers. Lower prices are his game.
Our rollback mission to save you even more. Walmart. Always low prices. Always.
With just announced 0.9 60-month financing or $1,500 cash back, there's never been a better time to take a look at the powerful
beautiful, stylish 2004 Nissan Altima. Wow. With 0.9 60-month financing or $1,500 cash back, the Altima's never been more attractive. Nissan Altima.
New information tonight. In an alleged dogfighting ring, 30-year-old Tamika Marks of Covington is now also charged in connection with the case. Newton County authorities say she owned the home where the alleged dogfight was staged. Saturday, authorities arrested 123 people they say were betting on the fights. Officers are now sorting through the evidence, including more than $250,000, several guns, and 7 kilos of marijuana. Officers also found these trophies and plaques that were to be awarded to the dog's owners. 14 pit bulls were taken to animal control. 1 has been euthanized.
Cobb County Police want the public's help to find a rapist. They say a woman was attacked outside the Timbers at Vining's apartment Saturday night. Police say it happened as she was unloading groceries from her car.
She was approached by a suspect who was armed with a gun. At first, he asked her for her money. When she showed him that she didn't have any money, he forced her into a wooded area behind the complex where he raped her.
Authorities say a passerby walked up during the attack and the rapist fled. Investigators say they have a vague description of the man. He's described as a black man, 5'8", weighing about 150 pounds. He was last seen driving away in a white 4-door mid-sized car with tinted windows.
Another 10 Commandments battle could soon be brewing in North Carolina. City Councilman Vernon Robinson, a Republican candidate for Congress, has placed a 1-ton granite monument of the 10 Commandments in front of Winston-Salem City Hall. Robinson installed the monument without permission while City Hall was closed for the King holiday. He said he was inspired by former Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore, who placed a similar monument in the Alabama Judicial Building back in 2001.
A California zoo had to be evacuated today after a chimpanzee escaped from his cage. The chimp took his place atop a building and monkeyed around with some of his friends still inside the cage. Zookeepers checked visitors one by one to make sure that the animal wasn't mixed in with the crowd. No word on whether zoo officials used guerrilla tactics to get the chimp back inside.
From the Fox 5 Forecast Center, your latest weather.
No monkeying around when it comes to the weather. It is cold and it is getting colder, isn't it?
It's cold out there. The wind is still up. The wind chill is in the awfully cold range, and it's going to continue that way for the rest of the night. Let's show. We have a little microphone problem here. Let's just check. No, let's see. Let's get the spare mic over here. All right. I think maybe we'll have a better situation here. A little bit of rain out in the west, a little bit of flurry activity going on in the northeast. That will continue to move toward the east and mostly off the coast during the next 24 hours or so. In the meantime, fair skies have moved into the North Georgia area, and with it, much colder air has moved into the southeast. Once again, temperatures already well below freezing and continuing to go down. On the weather map, we see the temperatures now already in the 20s. 30s to our south, teens and single digits to our north. In the northeast, temperatures may already be down to 8 to 10 degrees. Cool already in the Texas area, 40s all the way down to the New Orleans vicinity this evening. Now, as we look closer to home, temperatures continue to go down in North Georgia, already in the 20s, Athens, low 30s, mid to low 30s in middle Georgia, and still some upper 30s to lower 40s across the middle part of the state. So today we had cold, windy conditions, and even with sunshine, the temperatures did not warm up very much. Now, with winds still continuing and clear skies, temperatures have fallen into the 20s and will continue. In some areas, we'll get into the teens, perhaps even by tomorrow morning, as a little bit of rain starts to develop in the Texas and Oklahoma area, either later tomorrow or on Wednesday. Let's go outside and check our own weather this evening now. At 10 o'clock, we have clear skies and 28 degrees. The dew point is at 18, and with this wind as strong as it is, it feels like -2 outside. Relative humidity 66%. Northwest winds are at 17, gusting to 28, and the barometer rising. Today's high temperature 43, the low 28. That was 7 below average. Sun will be up at 7:41 before going down at 5:57 tomorrow evening. Now, as we check out the entire country, we've seen some weather systems on the west coast, but in general, they have been weak, and so it's been dry out west. It has been cold across the middle and eastern part of the country, and now we're more or less in a cold and dry pattern that will last for at least the next several days and perhaps toward the end of the week. So there are no real major weather systems brewing other than the cold weather that's with us right now. Lows tonight out in the west, we'll see teens, 20s, 30s, and 40s. Across the middle, sub-zero, single digits, teens, 20s, and 30s down into South Texas. In the northeast tonight, temperatures in the lower teens, maybe single digits in the mountains, teens, 20s, 30s all the way down in northern Florida, and perhaps only some 40s and 50s for central and southern sections of that state. And closer to home, you see higher temperatures here, 20s in Atlanta and Athens, teens in the mountains, and then dropping lower and lower teens. You get in the Ohio Valley, perhaps some single digits there by morning. Tomorrow, even with bright sunshine, mid-40s is about the best we can do. 24 for St. Louis, 18 in Chicago, 11 in Minneapolis, 18 for Pittsburgh, 31 for Washington, 20s and 30s out in the mountains, and even out in the normally mild southwest where temperatures would average about 70 degrees this time of the year, only into the low or mid-60s. So high pressure will continue to bring the cold air southward and eastward over the next 24 to even 36 hours. Eventually the high will move past us. That allows for a little return moisture in Texas, and with the frontal system approaching, some rain developing in the central and south Texas area, and maybe even some snow in the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma come Wednesday. So tonight will be clear and very cold, 20 to 25, and I think we'll even see some teens in outlying areas and certainly in the mountains come tomorrow morning. Then as we go into tomorrow morning, a sunny, frosty start at 21 to 26 degrees at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Sunny and cool in the afternoon, 43 to 47, even with a lot of sunshine and lighter northwesterly winds of 7 to 14 miles an hour. So tomorrow is a 23 or thereabouts day to 45, 25 to 48 Wednesday, 30 to 50 on Thursday, 28 to 48 Friday, and still 33 to 53. We'll call this our milder day on Saturday. We'll come back, take a look at tomorrow morning's wake-up forecast, and have it for you in a few minutes. Lisa.
All right, thanks, Ken. As you know, Iowa Democrats tonight are gathering to pick their presidential candidate.
This is the first test of the 2004 campaign. Fox 5's Tony Thomas joins us with the latest. Tony?
Corey, this is a big night for Senator John Kerry. 94% of the votes are in at this hour. He's the projected winner tonight in Iowa with 38% of the votes. John Edwards, senator from neighboring North Carolina, coming in a strong second with 32%. Howard Dean was a front runner at one point. Tonight, he's finishing third, and he's already congratulated Kerry and Edwards. Richard Gephardt finishes a distant fourth with 11%. We're expecting to hear from him shortly. Let's go live now to Des Moines and reporter Kimberly Osias. She's been watching the returns. A lot of surprises up there, Kimberly.
Absolutely. Hello, Corey, Lisa, and Tony as well. It has definitely been a night of twists and turns, surprises, absolutely, and big turnout, more than twice what they had last year at these caucuses. Iowa's braved really low temperatures, actually in the single digits and in the teens, to get out and have their voices heard. Disappointing night for Representative Dick Gephardt, who has gotten out of the race. The one thing about Iowa here, it's not so much that you win, but that you place. Because when you place, it certainly gives momentum to a candidate. It gives them visibility and also endorsements in terms of money. Now, for the other candidates that did place, clear victory for Senator John Kerry at 38%. Senator John Edwards just behind as well. He is absolutely giddy. I just heard him addressing his supporters earlier. Definitely had a positive message that seemed to resonate with caucus goers. And former Vermont Governor Howard Dean has the most cash, $41 million, placed, came in third, and he has said he is happy with that. He will be moving on to New Hampshire along with everybody else. And one thing, Corey and Lisa and Tony, is that all eyes will certainly be on New Hampshire in 8 days as things heat up and they move on there.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kimberly Osias from Iowa. As she said, they now move on to New Hampshire. Then our neighbor, South Carolina, follows after that. Lisa?
All right. Thanks, Tony. Up next on Fox 5 News at 10, a first in more than 50 years for soldiers of one country.
And a tiny pup with a mighty big bark.
Fox 5 News is brought to you by Chrysler Pacifica.
See, aren't you glad I drove my new Pacifica? It can fit 6, you know? The all-wheel drive's awesome in the snow, and it's got a 5-star crash test rating.
Unlike some people we know.
It's very funny.
Yeah, too bad he doesn't have the capability of the Pacifica. Go well beyond the SUV with the Chrysler Pacifica. Plus, get this groundbreaking offer. Announcing Zero Plus. Right now, get 0% financing plus a $2,000 cash allowance plus our 770 powertrain limited warranty. For the best values in America, see your Chrysler dealer today.
What's the deal with the LG VX6000 camera phone from Verizon Wireless? It's only $79.99. That's a picture-perfect deal. And now you can also get instant messaging, so you can send and receive messages as easily as you do from your desktop. Get the message? You can even access your buddy list feature, so you know when your friends sign on too. So stop by your Verizon Wireless communications store today and get the phone you want at a price you need to see to believe. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Suchita. Meet a young African-American who's breaking into the world of country music.
And see why she doesn't want to spend another night alone tomorrow on Good Day Atlanta.
Never underestimate the power of a satisfied customer. It's why Ford Focus has more repeat buyers than any other car in its class. And right now is a great time to drive the 03 Focus with 0% financing for 72 months or $3,000 cash back. That's 0 for 72 or $3,000 cash back. Visit your Atlanta area Ford store and find out what millions of satisfied Ford owners already know.
Stop by Circuit City today and check out our huge selection of the latest TVs, from widescreens to plasmas. And just in time for the big game, get free delivery on all TVs 30 inches and up. Plus, get $50 to $100 instant savings on all TVs $399 and up. Like this Sony 46-inch high-def widescreen TV monitor, just $1599.99. And this Akai 42-inch digital plasma TV, just $2699.99. Circuit City, we're with you.
Every year, James Ward buys his mom the same old birthday cake. But this year, James switched to Progressive Auto Insurance. And if they can shake things up by letting you compare competitors' rates and over 20 other facts and figures, then maybe he too should swing for the fences. Nice work, James. Think easier. Think Progressive. Visit progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
A look at news around the world tonight. 2 people were killed today when a large freighter capsized near the western Norwegian port of Bergen. About 30 people were on board. Rescuers had to battle the icy water to cut a hole through an overturned ship to free some of them. Survivors were taken to area hospitals. Most of them were reportedly in good condition. The cause of the accident is under investigation. U.S. officials are offering a reward for information on yesterday's deadly blast in Baghdad. 31 people were killed and 120 wounded in the bombing outside coalition headquarters. Authorities say the suicide bomber was in a pickup truck parked near the building. All of those killed were Iraqis, including 2 policemen who were laid to rest today. U.S. officials say at least 6 Americans are among the injured. Japanese soldiers have entered a conflict zone for the first time since World War II. The first wave of Japanese troops moved into southern Iraq today. They will carry weapons, but they are on a strictly humanitarian mission. The soldiers will help purify water, rebuild schools, and supply medical care to the Iraqi people. Roughly 1,000 Japanese troops are expected in Iraq by March. The UK is claiming to have the world's smallest dog. Now, this is Tiny Tim at 10 weeks old. He measures 4 inches long and weighs just over a pound. His owner says he stopped growing at 4 weeks, and unless he hits the late growth spurt, that would make him the smallest dog in the world. Tim is a Chihuahua Shih Tzu mix. His owner says, don't let his size fool you, though. Tim's appetite is much bigger than his bite. Corey?
He is cute. Just ahead on Fox 5 News at 10, new information from the Michael Jackson camp. Why his defense may be concerned about last week's spectacle after a court appearance. And Fox once again takes reality television to a whole new level.
Fox 5 News Stock Report is brought to you by your Atlanta area Lexus dealer.
With the power rear door
elegant interior. The Lexus RX is luxury at your fingertips. See your Atlanta area Lexus dealer.
We grew up playing on these hills in the vineyards. We care who our neighbors are in this town.
When we heard Walmart was coming to Napa, we were very excited.
Walmart filled a large empty building, and they hired a lot of our people. They gave a product that people can afford.
Walmart gives us a better quality of life. It makes our lives easier.
To have my own family and friends tell me how much they appreciate the store, I'm really proud of that.
Their tax revenue supports our parks, our streets, our schools, and we're grateful for it.
Introducing 1, 2, 3-course combos.
Do you love 3? Do you love 3? Now at Applebee's. Come on now. Course 1, I do the appetizer. Course 2, wow, entree. Course 3, save room for dessert.
3 courses and 3 great new combos at Applebee's.
Do you love 3?
Eating good in the neighborhood.
It just sort of happens. You wake up one morning and your needs have grown. The internet's like that. You need more speed than you get from dial-up. Introducing an easy step into the world of broadband. New Bell South Fast Access DSL Lite. Starting at our everyday price of just $29.95 a month. Get the high-speed internet that won't tie up your phone line at our new lower price. So call today, and if your needs grow again, we'll get you right up to speed. Bell South. Listening, answering.
Look again, look again.
It's time to check out the pickup everyone's talking about. The 2004 F-150, the one that Detroit Free Press calls the best pickup ever. And Super Duty, the truck with more pulling power than any other pickup on Earth. Right now, get up to $3,000 cash back on F-150 and Super Duty. That's up to $3,000 cash back. A great deal on America's toughest trucks.
Only at your neighborhood Ford dealer.
Atlanta's auditions are killing the judges.
Musical food poisoning.
American Idol.
Tuesday at 8 on Fox 5.
Some surprising revelations coming from the Michael Jackson camp tonight. Sources close to Jackson's attorneys say they're questioning whether the King of Pop fully grasps exactly how much trouble he's in. Jackson's attorneys were reportedly shocked when he jumped on top of his SUV after being arraigned on Friday. They say they're not sure if he planned the seemingly impromptu stunt, but Jackson was looking for camera moments before.
I love my fans. I love my fans. Who's our staff? Who's our camera people?
Jackson is charged with child molestation. His attorneys worry that if he angers the judge, it could work against him as pretrial motions are made.
Season 3 for American Idol and Simon Cowell isn't pulling any punches. We had our first look at auditions in New York City, along the most notable, Scat Girl and Scooter Girl. Scat Girl, not so good. Scooter Girl is rolling on to Hollywood.
Cause I'm your lady, and you are my man.
Ready? The American Idol fun is just beginning. Tomorrow night at 8, we'll see how auditions went in other cities and who made the cut to head to Hollywood.
Well, the newest reality series from Fox really takes the cake. The wedding cake, that is. My Big Fat Obnoxious Fiancé kicked off tonight. Randy, a school teacher, must convince her family that she got engaged to Steven, whom she just met. Well, what Randy doesn't know is that Steven is an actor doing his best to horrify her and her entire family. If Randy can keep up the charade and make it through the fake wedding, she and her family will split $500,000. If not, she doesn't get one thin dime.
He's a pretty good actor, too. It's all over that show. So. Up next on Fox 5 News at 10, a big victory tonight in Iowa for John Kerry.
And a poor showing for Dick Gephardt. He calls it quits. The latest on tonight's Iowa caucus vote is coming up next.
Live from Hollywood, it's On Air with Ryan Seacrest.
A show called American Idol. Randy Jackson tells us how he lost 100 pounds. Then this brave guy's gone through puberty in the public eye. Malcolm in the Middle's Frankie Muniz, all On Air.
And later this week, a rare live performance from Sheryl Crow. On Air with Ryan Seacrest.
Tomorrow at 3 on Fox 5 Atlanta.
the new Chevrolets, an American revolution.
George, this part of the store is almost like a labyrinth. What a maze.
Oh, H.H. Gregg has over 400 models in stock, Joey. More than anybody. With just about every major brand appliance in here.
Well, I don't really think you could actually get lost in here. George? George?
Get more brand name choices, plus through Wednesday, save on all shapes, all sizes, all colors of name brand appliances. H.H. Gregg, family owned since 1955.
Nice set. Yeah. I used to throw the iron up a little myself. You bet, yeah, for the football injury, I used to do it all, man. Glutes, lats, yeah, peckies, whole enchilada. Still a little crispy from some reps this morning.
Everybody has a fantasy. Fantasy 5. With drawings every night and prizes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, your fantasy might actually come true.
What's up?
Iowa Democrats have picked their candidate for president tonight, giving Senator John Kerry a big win and closing the political career on Richard Gephardt.
Fox 5's Tony Thomas has been keeping track of the numbers this evening. He joins us now with the latest. Tony?
Corey, Richard Gephardt just about to take the podium in Iowa. We are being told he is pulling out of the race entirely after finishing 4th tonight in the Iowa caucuses. Here are the latest numbers with 95% of the votes in and tallied tonight. A big win for John Kerry, as you said, 38% of the vote. John Edwards coming in second, 32%. Howard Dean, a disappointing third at 18%, and then there are the numbers for Dick Gephardt. Many of the candidates are beginning to speak tonight now that most of the numbers are in. Just a few moments ago, John Edwards took the podium.
The people of Iowa tonight confirmed that they believe in a positive, uplifting vision to change America. And not only that, tonight we started a movement to change this country that will sweep across America. Tonight we began it.
Sweep across America next, heading to New Hampshire. Corey and Lisa.
All right, thank you very much. And Gephardt and his wife are at the podium now speaking. Up next on Fox 5 News at 10, the Falcons fill a couple more coaching positions.
And a rare sight at tonight's Hawks game, a sellout crowd. Ken Rodriguez with that story and more coming up next in sports.
You think about designing an SUV with room for 7 people and room for the things that 7 people like to take along. But mostly, you think about the 7 people themselves and how an SUV can finally help protect each and every one of them. You think about that, then you build.
The Volvo XC90, the first SUV equipped with third-row safety curtains, a roll stability control system, and guided by conscience.
Right now, there's $350 billion in tax cuts out there. It's like this big, freshly baked pie. And our job at H&R Block is to get you the biggest slice possible. So I dig in to find you every tax break you're entitled to. There's a bigger child tax credit, a larger deduction for married couples, lots of new stuff. The only question is, how big a slice do you want?
Get the maximum refund or it's free. Another advantage of H&R Block.
We're leaving, Mr. Larson. Thank you for hosting our career day field trip.
Oh, it's great having you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I've got something for each of you to take along.
Ooh.
Here you go. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Oh.
Put your hands out. Where's my big man?
Okay, Mr. Larson, they're 4th graders, not file cabinets.
Staples has easier ways to get organized with products to help you file and store it all.
Staples, that was easy.
It's a sellout crowd for the Hawks tonight. Haven't seen too often there.
Almost.
There's good reason for it.
Not quite.
Next time. Well, Webster's Handy College Dictionary defines a honk as one of 2 things, a bird of prey or a hard cough and noisy effort to clear one's throat. I'll let you decide which one as we watch our NBA franchise at work against the visiting Indiana Pacers. Even Jermaine Dupri could call them a so-so team. Hawks led a good bit of the game. Sharif don't like it. So he spins and finds another route to the hole. 32 points for number 3 to lead the Hawks. Now, speaking of 3, tie game under a minute to go. Our test to Reggie Miller for the 3. Miller just loves putting a hurting on the Hawks. Hawks lose at 100-97. Last shot of the game right here, way off in front of a sold-out Phillips Arena crowd. Thank goodness for all those $1 tickets, says Indiana's Ron Artest. Otherwise, nobody would have come to this game.
I think them dollar tickets helped a lot. I think Atlanta needs a little bit more support. And they only start, getting a little bit more fans. They should move it somewhere else. Move it to another state or move it somewhere. But
this franchise has been there for a long time. I mean, they're not gonna leave because Ron Artest say leave. I don't think anybody listen to what he say, but I don't know, man. I'm happy here. I'm thinking my teammates happy here. We just got to keep playing, man. We're happy with the way we playing. We didn't win, but we just gotta keep playing and keep finishing. We'll learn how to finish. We'll be all right.
And that was a noisy effort to clear one's throat. Jim Mora moving full speed ahead and filling out his coaching staff. 2 more experienced assistants on the board following the hiring of new defensive coordinator Ed Donatel, formerly of the Packers. Word has it, Donatel will implement an ask but don't tell policy. It didn't work at 10 either. All right, Donatel led a Packers defense that produced 116 turnovers over the last years, most in the NFL. Over the other newcomer to the Falcons staff, offensive line coach Alex Gibbs, has come out of